dun 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 dun. We get on the bus. Oh boy. Hey everybody. Renegade 67 and or A here with some more Let's Play stream. Fate Stay Night of the Blindish variety. She's walking behind me as usual, but it feels different today. To put it nicely, I feel pressure from behind me. Anyway, Saber's gonna be harder to handle today. Ooh, giddy. Okay. So we're having a date with Destiny, or a date with Saber. I'm proud of that title. I called it, Date with Destiny. It's the title of the Twitch stream, and I'm proud of that because it's like, oh, it's date with Saber, and it's like our destiny because it's fate, and if it's fate, fate is another way of saying destiny, and so it's a date, and I like my title. Anyways, shout out to Kaiba Oyster, followed me a few days ago, shortly after my last stream ended, I think. Speaking of last week, man, did you guys see the week of fate? Wasn't it great? Like, oh man, on that first day, we set up the date with Saber, and then on Tuesday, there was a great date with Saber, which I know a lot of people missed, because I had no internet, but, I enjoyed it a lot. And then on Wednesday, oh man, we had an awkward encounter where we just talked with Gilgamesh, and Shiro's just talking with Gilgamesh, and they're both talking about how they want to love Saber, and they have very different definitions, and then Shiro sees some of him inside Gilgamesh, and he's like, what? And that was crazy. Of course, I was busy that day, so I couldn't actually be there for it, but that's what I heard from people who were there for that stream. And then on Thursday, oh man, we actually, we get the sex. It's cut out a little bit because this is the censored version, but Shiro has the actual, not just Mott sex, but the physical sex with Saber, and it's crazy, and it's like, whoa. And then, but then there's this really dark scene where it looks like Gilgamesh is going to try to rape Saber, and it's like, oh! And then on Friday's stream, oh man, it really started. Shiro suddenly, unleashed the inner something inside of him, and it's like, you stay away from my Saber, and they had a fight, and it was great. But Shiro got his butt kicked a little bit because it's fucking Gilgamesh, and now they gotta lick their wounds. And now, Shiro got hurt so bad that he time traveled back to the scene just before they went on the date. That was the week of fate. It totally happened. The whole thing definitely happened. Yeah, no. I couldn't stream on Tuesday, couldn't stream on Wednesday, didn't feel like streaming on Thursday, and then I was gonna stream on Friday, but then I updated my computer and it ran slow, and I'm like, wow, fuck me. We gotta do another week of fate. Not yet. Probably won't be till April or something, but we gotta do another week of fate. But anyways, for now, we're just doing the normal fate stuff, the boring, dating Saber, whatever. We're now stuck on this Saber road. Hopefully it all goes well. Yeah. Wonder how Gilgamesh would actually react to Shiro. Well, he'd be like, well, you have good taste in women, however, it's good if you protect my Saber. Something like that. But, yeah, it's okay. Thank you for protecting my Saber until now, but you're no longer needed. I think he is needed to maintain Saber here in this world until the Grail is obtained, I suppose. Anyways, we get on the bus. If memory serves, Gilgamesh saved Shiro, didn't he? Which could have been just invertedly saving Saber. But when Caster, I think, was gonna do some nasties to Shiro, I believe Gilgamesh, that's when he intervened with his rain of arrows. We get on the bus. I watched the first episode of Magic Man Kaito Kid 1412. After seeing him so long, case closed, just felt like throwing that out there. Anyways, we get on the bus. It would have been full of people an hour ago, but there aren't many people using it at this time. Probably because of that coronavirus. I shouldn't talk about that, I shouldn't make jokes about that, but the world exists for making jokes, so it was spontaneous. Him being a master to Saber is probs the reason. Well, when this gets uploaded to YouTube, it'll be several months later, probably, at this rate. And so by then, hopefully it won't be too soon anymore. Him being a master to Saber is probably the reason why Gilgamesh didn't kill Shiro along with Caster. Well, Shiro didn't really speak up, I don't think, because, Gilgamesh is all about, like, you know, you dare speak up to me, worm? But, Shiro, I don't think ever actually spoke up to him. I don't think. Because he had that whole inner monologue about how he was all frightened and stuff. The only people on the bus are an old lady and a kid, so it's like we have this place to ourselves. Giggity. It's been around 2 months I managed to catch a stream. Well, thank you for catching it this time, Worm38P. You missed an epic week of Fate last week, by which I mean, no, nothing happened. It sucked, because I couldn't do it. Oh, some other time. I mean, I did stream one day, but it was going to be 5 days, but then it was just one day. But today's a new day. Every day is a new day, except if you time travel, I guess. But then it's still a new old day, unless you time travel into the future, in which case it's even newer new day. The only people on the bus are an old lady and a kid, so it's like we have this place to ourselves.
Saber,
Haven't advanced that much of the story in those too much. You shush, wise fool. Not being a very wise fool right now. Let's sit at the back, Saber. Oh yeah, all the cool kids sit at the back. Where the old lady and kid can't see us making out. I call it the Saber. About to sit right at the front and sit at the back end of the bus. That would make sense. From Saber's perspective, like, sit at the front of the bus, you can quickly exit if you need to, if, like, a disaster happens. But Shiro's like, nah, if a disaster happens, there's like, probably disaster exits or whatever. Emergency exits, that's the word. Random fun fact. I've looked into Japanese bus fare. And it's about half the bus fare that, you know, you have to pay for where I live. So, that's a fun fact where I'm like, hey, that would be convenient. Ellipses. Saber watches the passing scenery silently. Okay, and what do you do, Shiro? You just watch Saber, of course. I watch the VOD on Twitch anyway. I'll be able to follow from now on since my workplace is closed and I have to work from home. Coronavirus, yay! Well, looking at her, I realize how crazy I'm being right now. The bus to the neighboring town is ordinary for me. Uh-huh. But in this ordinary thing, there's something extraordinary. Extraordinary. That being my love for Saber. Oh. Well, in short, to be honest, my mind starts to twist like a Rubik's Cube, realizing we're about to go on a date. What, you didn't think about this beforehand? No. You're always impulsive. You never think anything out in advance, or if you do, it'll be sucky, so. Of course, that's just a shonen trope, right? Anything you think in advance can't work because that's too predictable and boring, so it has to be something you come up with on the spot. The best mesh is when you plan something in advance, and it kind of works a little bit, but there's some kind of kink, and you have to do it the kink impromptuously. That's what I like, you know. You know, just because I like planning, but I do admit that, you know, sometimes planning leads to predictability. It's just that you gotta work for the good middle ground. I'm riding on a bus with King Arthur. More importantly than that, King Arthur's a girl and I want to fuck her. Dash. Oh. Crap, I'm getting real nervous. Dash. Thinking that Kiritsugu taught him all the wrong things so he'd have no chance of Shiro to become like him. All the wrong things, what, for Magi? I mean, we know that Kiritsugu was a bit of a ladies' man. And Shiro, I think, wants to be a ladies' man, but he's, like, too polite and not willing to ask anyone out, and he looks at women as more of the damsels in distress, and less the, you know, the women in the bedroom in direct labor because they had a kid by having sex with the man. That's a woman joke. Dash! I take a deep breath, trying not to let Saber notice. I know I shouldn't, but I sneak one more glance at Saber. Ooh, it's okay to look at her. I mean, you don't, like, looking at her the whole time is probably uncomfortable. But, I mean, you know, it's not like you're stealing a glance as if it's illegal. It's always been a whole awkward thing about how, oh, it's polite to look at someone when you're talking at them, but don't stare at them. Well, which fucking is it? You know, do a half and half. Look at them half the time. The other half, look away in some awkward direction. This is why I don't like social interactions. You know, all the rules are vague. My heart jumps. Doki Doki! Your heart is Doki Dokiing. The Saber sitting next to me is a Saber I don't know. No, Saber herself is the same. All that's changed the situation. It's a Saber who's gonna, like, play with me on, you know, we're gonna go to the movie and stuff and eat food and oh. Special CG? It's not that special. I mean, she looks purty, but she always looks purty, so I guess it's a purty look at her, but it's like, it's a bus, so it's like, oh, it can't be that purty. It actually does look like kind of a clean bus, but that might be because of Shiro's male gaze. It's like getting rid of all the clutter and ugliness, because, you know, there can be no clutter and ugliness when Saber's in the room, something, something. Just that makes me realize she's different. Ugh. Something I didn't notice back at my place. This ordinary seam seems like a different world just because it has Saber in it. Uh-huh, so that's, again, yeah, that's why you're making the bus not so grody. Her hair is like gold and silk, just like a Lana, and her green eyes are so beautiful that their mere presence is overwhelming. Green is my favorite color, usually. There wasn't much to compare her against up till now, so I forget about it. If green was a real hair color, it would probably be my favorite hair color. It's my favorite anime hair color. My favorite real hair color is, it's generally blonde, so, you know, I like Saber's look. It kind of depends. I'm a blonde. I'm a dirty blonde. Really dirty. It's gotten, I talked about this before, but like when I was younger it was blonde, and as I grew up the hair got dirtier and dirtier to the point where, you know, if you looked at me now you probably think it's just brown. But I think it's technically still blonde in a way. Dirty, dirty, dirty blonde? Her seeing Saber in non-Holy Grail War scenario for, like, the first time. I guess. Even though he always saw her like this. He always saw her as a real girl. It took him a while to actually accept the idea that she was this non-real girl servant person. But I guess it's the first time seeing her like this in a while after accepting that she wasn't. Love red hair. That may explain my love for Shiro. Yeah. Yeah, but do you like redheads, or do you like, favorite anime hair color is light red? Okay. I like the green hair. Do you like redheads, or do you like real life redheads? Because real life redheads have orange hair. Wasn't much to compare her up against till now, so I forgot about it. I remember the time I first met Saber. I was probably avoiding her because I was embarrassed about being fascinated by her. Okay. I guess you're not embarrassed anymore. No matter what Saber says, she's a girl before she's a swordsman for me. I mean, she's always been like that to you, though. Didn't know how to approach her, and didn't realize my feelings for her. Well... you know, I mean, how can you when you're this Oh man, such a male gaze. Wow. Oh wow, yeah, he's never, you know, we've never seen the fascination this strong before. I mean, it was always there, but like, I guess the self-realization lets it be stronger than ever. She is the sky's the limit. Saber's the sky. Saber's the limits. She's so high up, but she's within my grasp. It's stupid even for me. I was finally able to believe in Saber with everything I have. Then I decided to go on a date with her. Just those two are in the wrong order. You're supposed to go on a date, then believe in her? No. I finally realized when our date is about to begin just how big a deal it is to go on a date with a girl you like. You kind of blown this out of proportion a little bit, but I guess, I mean, this is how everyone feels their first time, possibly. But that's fine. I can only do my best, so I can't back out now. You're very bad at multitasking, I've noticed. You're very much focusing on one thing. So, right now, you're very much in the Saber zone, so you're not thinking at all about the Grail War, which, I mean, on the one hand, it means you're definitely going to give this date your all, but on the other hand, if someone tries to intervene, you're not going to be prepared in the slightest. It's real crazy he's been living with women for, like, years, and this is the first time he's just been such a teenage boy. And I'm traumatized? Yeah. He has been living with women for a long time, but he's always thought of it as like, oh, they're my school acquaintance, or they're my school teacher. Not, oh, I'm just hanging out with this person as like a girlfriend. Ooh, cooties. Dash. I calm myself and shake off my weak spirits. Multiple weak spirits. Well, no wonder he's such a weakling if he's got multiple weak spirits. The bus has crossed the bridge, and it's going into the developing area where the buildings are. Oh boy, this is where the life of the party happens. Are there any arcades nearby? I know there's more of those fancy-wancy arcades in Japan. I went to a couple arcades when I was a kid, you know, before they got, you know, asphyxiated. I played Pikmin for my first time ever. Was it? No, it was at one of those McDonald's arcades. They had those back in the day, where like McDonald's had some like game things in there. I played Pikmin for the first time, definitely at one of those. I remember that very brightly. Other than that, I remember playing other things, but they all blend together. Pikmin's the one that stands out as I played that for the first time at a McDonald's. Anyways, I breathe out and prepare myself. The announcer I'm so used to hearing announces the next stop, Shino Station. Savior Complex probably just didn't allow him to view the females around him as people to be saved. Well, it probably didn't. His self-hatred complex probably didn't think of him as worthy of dating the females, even if he wanted to. Whereas this is a separate situation where he feels like he has to save Saber, and he's going to try to do it by dating her. Or he's going to date her because he wants to date her before she disappears. And if that saves her, great, but like, you know, yeah. That's what I'm so used to hearing announces the next stop, Shino Station. It's still 9 in the morning, but the area in front of the station is crowded. Most shops open at 10, but cafes and bookstores are already open. Most shops open at 10, really? I'm used to places generally opening at 8, but I guess it depends on the place. Usually things that open that late are prestigious and generally don't stay in business for too long. Well, depends on, if it's very specialized, maybe. But, you know, if you open that late these days, it's like, well, if it's too early, go somewhere else that is open that early. That kind of thing. It's all about that competition. But of course, if it's specialized, there might be a lack of competition, which leads to monopolies and oligopolies. Am I using that word right? Hold on. Is it oligopoly? Which is like basically a semi-monopoly. Oligopoly, is that the right word? Yes, it is. Oligopoly. State of limited competition in which a market is shared by a small number of producers or sellers. An oligopoly is essentially what the streaming market is in now. It's basically it's like each group, like they'll share some shows, then there'll be some shows they have exclusively, but and yeah, so it creates a problem where, you know, some people are buying all of them, but that can never last. Realistically, some of them are going to stand at the top, and the rest are all going to fall to the wayside. Statistically, the likelihood is that Netflix, as long as it keeps doing good original shows, Netflix will probably last. And Disney is the biggest thing ever, so it's probably going to last. The rest will probably all fall into obscurity. Which, as morbid as it is kind of the hope. Because then they'll have to give their shows back to other people. Or, you know, we'll come up with new streaming laws where everybody has to share. If people want to have a show and they can afford to buy the rights, they can have it. That would be a nice direction to go in. But yeah, the streaming wars. Most shops open at 10, but cafes and bookstores are already open. There are already many more people than there were at Miami City, and this place is as crowded as it is on the weekends. For now, the people winning the most is easily the pirates. As far as the streaming goes, because each company is trying to they want them to be your service of choice or whatever, and they do that by pumping out these shows that are just for them. And there's some really good shows on like all the platforms, and so like buying all of them is kind of stupid and not financially a very smart idea. And you're probably not going to be able to have time to watch all of them anyways, but there might be something good on each one you want to watch, and if you want to, then pirating. So for pirates, the TV show market has gotten better than ever. But for everyone else, it's like, I don't want to fucking buy all of them. This place is crowded as it is on weekdays. Already many more people than there were at Miami City, and this place is crowded as it is on weekends. Any other hookies from school? I wonder if we're gonna notice any other classmates. Is we gonna notice Aiko or Sakura playing hooky? God, freaking Sakura. What is she up to? I think at this point we're just not gonna see her on this pathway. I feel like Shiro. Is he just too stupid? Or is he not thinking about it, which is also being stupid? Or is he purposely thinking about it and avoiding it because he thinks it's awkward? Like, Shinji is dead. Partially, not entirely, but partially because of Shiro. And I feel like that is going to have affected Sakura in some way. And the fact that Shiro has not even looked in on her, I think it's more than him just being stupid, which, I do think he's stupid. Let's not underplay his stupidity. But I also think there's some subconscious part of him that feels guilty for Shinji's death and does not even want to face Sakura. Maybe doesn't think he's worthy of ever facing her again because he was partially responsible, and maybe if he was quicker or better or something, he could have saved Shinji. And he failed to do so, so he doesn't think he's worthy of seeing Sakura ever again. And so that's why he's avoiding it. I killed her brother and got to focus on stopping Saber killing her. Yeah, there's whole stopping Saber. That's true. There is a lot going on with the Grail War and stuff. That's true, but I feel like that's an excuse. Like, Sakura, who knows? She could fucking kill herself in this time, for all we know. Shiro's probably not thinking along those lines, because he's too busy thinking about him killing himself. But, and Sakura and Saber wanting to, kill herself from the timeline. There's that, too. But I feel like the fact that he's been entirely avoiding it, it comes down to, I think, guilt and not thinking he's worthy of seeing her again. Even if he doesn't consciously think that, it's definitely there in the subconscious for him to have avoided it for this long. Dash. Wait, no, ellipses. Getting off the bus, Saber looks around unhappily. It's only natural. Or is it Coordinator? Gosh, I'm so waiting for that. Gundam Scene is one of my favorite shows. And they've had this freaking release coming for a while, and it's going to have a new dub, and I love the old dub, but I still, it's something old I like new again, so I'm gonna want to check out that new dub, and that's going to be cool. And it's like, it was supposed to come out, like, around this time last year, and then they're like, it's going to come out this time this year, and like, anyways. Gundam Seed was my first mech show, and it's still kind of my favorite mech show. And I know some people are like, that's silly, but, I don't know. There's a lot about it that, in part, it's because it's the first time I ever saw something that political, and I now love political stuff. It's the first time I ever saw something with anyone can die, and now I love anyone can die. It's the first time I ever saw a mech show. So it did introduce a lot of things, so I think nostalgia definitely plays a part. But also, I think, it's got such a good ending. So there's that too. Anyways, Gundam Scene. I hate fucking looking up forums to see what other people think. I looked up a forum once, so what does other people think of Gundam Scene's ending? It's just okay. I'm like, how dare you? Sacrilege! It's only natural. Saber was against the date, and people passing by are looking at her curiously. Gundam Seed also got me a little horny, because of Speaking of horny, Saber was against the date and people passing by are looking at her curiously. Because a lot of people are probably horny for her. She must not feel too good about that. Either Sakura is relegated to cute wife for outside of the war, or she's very deep, all this shit, doing who knows what. I'm sure she's deep. She has to be deep. I feel like, yes, Shiro might not, because that's the thing. There's the character, and then there's the plot. And I feel like they're different entities. They work in harmony, but they're different entities. The character Shiro is avoiding Sakura, I think subconsciously because he feels guilty and doesn't think he's worthy of seeing her. But the plot has went out of his way to not put Sakura back into his life after all this time, even though the viewer, player, whatever, probably wants to know, I want to know, what the fuck is up with Sakura? How is she reacting to it? And the fact that the plot is saying, no, you don't get to see, tells me that's going to be a spoiler. And so some weird shit is going on with her that we're only going to get to find out in another pathway, is my guess. And so, like, the plot is doing one thing, the character is doing another thing, and they're working in tandem, but they're not, you know, the exact same entity, is how I look at things. She must not feel too good about that. I guess it's either Sakura is with the Makiri faction or she's somehow her own faction. I feel like up until now, Sakura seems so sweet that, I don't know. Her being secretly evil at this point, unless it's split personality, I think is unlikely. Her devolving into evil, like, you know, maybe she finds out about how her brother was a magus, and maybe ends up falling into that somehow. Like, maybe she finds out her brother was killed, and it's like, I'm gonna avenge my brother, or something. And then there's this awkward plot where she finds out it's someone who's now friends with Shiro, and then she becomes like, no, you're supposed to be my friend, but you're now helping out the person who killed my Oni-chan, or some awkward thing like that. The weird thing with that, though, is that the Sakura, how much does she actually like her brother? That whole relationship was awkward. But then there's the fact that Shinji in general was awkward. She must not feel too good about that. Come to think of it, this was bound to happen if I brought Saber here in the morning. That's gonna follow us around for the whole day. If there's a way to calm it down, it's to make Saber have so much fun that she forgets the people staring at her. Are you smart enough to realize the way to have fun, her to have fun, is for you to have fun, and she enjoys you, just like how you enjoy her? It's like, I enjoy you and you enjoy me. It's like a loop, but someone has to enjoy themselves first for the enjoyment loop to start. And since Shiro's the one who wants this date to happen, I think he's the one who has to enjoy himself first. She may just be a wasted character, lol. Yeah, of course, that's always the possibility, is that they're just a wasted character, but I don't want to think like that, you know? You see, at a certain point, you want to assume the narrative is good. You know, that is one option, is to go in and assume everything is nothing. Assume it could all be wasted potential and just let it pleasantly surprise me with good stuff. But then there's like, you know, why am I wasting my time with this story if I think it's going to be just shit? Because sometimes I'll start a story and I think, oh, that's shit, and I just don't watch it. If I start it and I think it's good, I'm continuing to watch it with the expectation it's going to continue to be good to a certain extent. So, like, you know, maybe Sakura ends up being a wasted character, for example. But, like, if that's true, I'm just going to complain about that when we get to the end. I'm not going to start thinking of that now. I'm going to assume, okay, what if she is a utilized character? If I'm just going to assume she's a wasted character, I would just fucking drop the visual novel. If I'm going to go in with that mentality. And if we get to the end and find out, oh, and I feel like, oh, this and that character were a bit wasted, that's something to talk about at the end, but, no reason to assume early on that everything is wasted. Except with my weird frickin' thing that... Yeah, anyways. It's to make Saber have so much fun she forgets about people staring at her. You know, because you can argue that the lower your expectation... It is an awkward thing where the lower your expectations are, the more likely you are to like something if it's good, and less likely you are to dislike it if it's just okay. But, like, you know, you don't want to waste your time on things that are okay. You want good things. So the situations where you watch okay things and are pleasantly, that you think are okay and are pleasantly surprised when they're actually good, generally don't happen that often. When they do happen, they're generally the sparks of, I was not expecting that to be good. Wow, that's good. But you usually don't seek out the mediocrity for it to be surprisingly good. You seek out what you think you're going to like. So, yeah, anyways. All right. I pound a fist and turn to Saber.
セイバー、初めに聞いておくけど、どこか行ってみたいところはあるか？せっかく来たんだから、今日ぐらいは好きなことをしてもいいだろう。
I'll ask you first. Is there any place you want to go? We've come all the way here, so we should at least do whatever we want today. She doesn't want to go anywhere. You're the one leading this date. She didn't even want to go on it.
さあ、別にこれといって興味のある場所はありませんから。そもそも私にそのような選択をする知識はありません。
I do not know. I have no place that interests me. Before even that, I have no knowledge on which to base such a decision.
本当か？そりゃ参ったな。じゃあ本当にここからは出たとこ勝負なわけか。セイバーに行きたいところがなくて、こっちもどこに行っていいかわからないんじゃん。
Really?
なんだ。
That's too bad. Well, I guess it's really up to luck. Let's roll a d6 and walk in a random direction. I guess it's really up to luck. The future looks bad if you don't have anywhere you want to go. And I don't have an idea where to go. I mean, yeah, neither of you really want to do anything. You just want the other person to do something and enjoy their enjoyment, but you both want that, so it's... jeez. Shiro initiating this date was a great first step, though. He just has to take more steps.
まさかとは思うのですが、何の計画も立てていないのですか、シロ?
I don't want to ask this, but you do not have a plan, Shiro? You know, not having a plan might be Shiro's smartest idea yet. He's pretty bad when it comes to plans. If he did plan something, it would probably suck. So, statement's a reflection of both of them. They both don't have any real plans for their own personal futures. Well, yeah. Or rather, I mean, Saber wants to erase herself from existence, pretty much. Whereas Shiro, he kind of wants to die, but he wants to die getting some kind of satisfaction of saving someone. But, like, he's seeking that satisfaction, but, you know, he also kind of wants the death. Which, so yeah, he doesn't have any big long-term goals. He's not thinking about, where will I be in 10 years? He's probably hoping, well, maybe within 10 years I'll have saved someone and died successfully. But yeah, there's that whole awkward thing. How about he doesn't want to just die because he feels like he'll wasted the life that Kiritsugu saved, but he does think that Kiritsugu made a wrong choice saving Shiro. He should have saved someone else. So Shiro's got to save someone else before he dies to make Kiritsugu, you know, not wasted. So, you know, that kind of whole mentality. You don't have a plan, Shiro? It's a conflicting thing where he wants to kill himself, but also doesn't want to waste the life that Kiritsugu saved, but...
いや、少しはあるけど、中身はガラガラ。とりあえず手当たり次第に店をはしごしよう。
Well, I have a few, but no details. Let's just go to random stores. Sure. Let's window shop. Did you bring any money, Shiro? How much yen do you have on you? That's still difficult. I know places where I won't get bored, but I can't even imagine where a girl will be happy to go to. She'll be happy where you're happy. You're the one who has the vested interest in this date, and she likes it when you are happy. But of course you haven't realized that yet because you're fucking stupid. Jeez, if it's gonna end up like this, I wish I'd gone out with a girl just once. Should have gone out with Sakura at some point. Speaking of which, are you gonna think about Sakura? Is that gonna bring Sakura to your mind? No.
まったく反論するわけではありませんが、シロはどうかしています。休憩を取ろうという考えはまだいい。
Yeah, he wants a heroic sacrifice.
その休憩すら明確な予定を立てていないとは何事ですか?
Honestly, please do not take offense, but there is something wrong with you. I very much agree. Then again, there's something kind of wrong with you too, Saber. You're both wrong together. Hopefully you can correct each other. Your plan to take a rest is fine, but how can you not even have a plan for that rest? It's not so much a rest as it is a hanky-panky time. Oh, Saber enters your scolding mode. Scolding mode. This is the first time she started to complain about something outside of the dojo. This is when I think, you know, I think that's her tsundere showing. You know, honestly, I understand that you want to, you know, the way she said that. I understand you wanted to rest, and I think you deserve a rest. You know, I think we should be looking for the master, but if you want some downtime, I like you, so it's good if you have downtime. But seriously, you should think of what your downtime is. Don't waste your downtime. It's like, it's the tsundere-ness of not quite realizing that that's why she's doing it, but that's why she's doing it. I knew she was irritated not being up for this and being looked at by curious eyes. I didn't think she was this irritated. No, this is when she likes you. This is the her liking you side of things. She's given into you having a rest, quote unquote. It's not quite what this is, but she's given into you having a downtime thing, and she's okay with that because it's you, which shows that she's progressed in her mental thinking from, this is stupid, why are we doing this? It's a waste of time.
かねてからあなたの見積もりの甘さには一言したかったのです。あなたは周りのことは目に入ってるくせに、どうも自身に対する扱いが存在です。
I've always wanted to object to your lack of planning. Really? I agree. You're closely aware of everyone around you, but you treat yourself too carelessly. I mean, yes, very much, yes. Totally dated girls if it helped me save people. I mean, yeah. If it helped me save the girl somehow from their own mental problems, which it does sometimes, but usually you don't know until you get to know the girl a little better, possibly through dating them. Not always, but you know.
結果、齟齬を埋めるために、あなた自身が対価を払わなくてはならなくなる。
As a result, you yourself have to pay the price for this discrepancy. But it's more than just him himself. He's made friends with people now. They're probably going to be sad when, you know, he goes the way of the dodo or whatever it is. Which he probably doesn't even consider, because he's like, well, they won't be sad for my death or whatever. Because, you know, he's like, I'm just a nobody, you know. So long as I make sure that, you know, Kiritsugu saving me wasn't a waste by saving someone else, you know, so that, you know, inadvertently he could have saved them and then I can die, that kind of thing, then there's no reason for them to be sad about my little self. But Saber is kind of helping him in this scenario. The fact that he initiated the date is a very big step. I don't want to underplay that. It's him coming out of his comfort zone in order to... This is him sort of saving her, even if he doesn't think of it that way. Which I can respect, even if I can still make fun of him.
と、聞いているのですか、シロ?
Are you listening to me, Shiro?
聞いてるよ。要するに、今こうしているのが納得いかないんだろ、セイバー。
I am. So basically you're not happy about being here right now, right? Nope, that's not what she said.
まあ、俺に連れ回されてもつまらないのは目に見えてるし、嫌がるのは当然だろうけど。
It's natural you wouldn't like it, since it's pretty obvious it's going to be boring going anywhere with me. Yup, time with me is boring. Except the only time she'll probably enjoy is with you, because she likes you now. She wants your penis. You know? Gosh dang it, Shiro. Frickin' heck. It's like you're going on this date because you want her to be happy. But like, because you think people are happy on dates. But you're not thinking she'll be happy with you. You're thinking, well, I'm the only chance she has. If I could get her to go on a date with another boy, maybe. But she might not do that because she's my servant and she doesn't want to waste time with them. She wants to make sure she's protecting the master. So that's why it has to be me, even though I'm no good at doing the date. That's probably where it comes from. Best way to hinder that mentality is your survival, Shiro, is the key to my happiness. Any romance options. Yeah, there you go. But he's doing the date and he's doing it because he thinks that him being the master means that he has to be the one to do it, but someone else probably should be doing it. They'll give her more happiness than I would, but that's wrong, Shiro. She likes you and your fucked up self. I mean, she doesn't like your fucked up self, but the whole package, you know, the sum of your parts that is better than your parts, as it were. She likes that version. I'd say both you and Saber are examples of yourselves being better than the sum of your parts, because one of your parts is fucked up. And multiple parts in some cases.
そういうことではなく、私は今はこのようなことをしている場合ではないと。
And of course she instantly blushes about that because it's like, it wouldn't be boring with you. And then she actually thinks about it going to places with Shiro. And it's like, oh, that's right, we're dating or whatever. We're courting, whatever that word means. Yeah, of course, you know, it would be wasting time. No, it's not that, but I'm saying now is not the time to be doing such things. When is the time then, Saber? Are you suggesting there's a better time? When? Because after you get the Grail, you're going to erase yourself from existence. Then when? Tell me when, Saber. When do we get to fuck? I feel like the reason why all the girls like Shiro compared to any other boys is because they see their own trauma reflected in him. Oh, that's one way to look at it. I mean, I don't know if they all see, because Shiro's trauma is a bit buried. You have to sort of take a second look at it, but maybe there's some sixth sense thing going on. I suppose if you've got trauma, you've got damage, you want someone else that has damage, but not always. Maybe if you want someone who doesn't have damage to save you from your damage. Then again, people are generally bad at knowing what their own damage is, but the subconscious, yeah. They say birds of a feather, but is it birds of a feather? If you're, not everyone's damage is the same. So, not everyone takes, this isn't Hearthstone where you attack with 1 damage and they take 1 damage and they attack back with 1 damage. It's a lot more like Shadowverse where you attack with 2 damage and they attack back with 2 damage, but then you evolve. What?
それも分かってる。けど聞かない。俺は今日一日セイバーに付き合ってもらうって決めたんだ。
I know that too, but I won't listen since I've already decided to have you accompany me today.
こればっかりはなんて言われようと曲げない。
I won't change my mind no matter what. I look at Saber. Saber just looks back at me in shock. Yeah, this date is everything I've expected thus far. I mean, pretty much. It's as awkward as I was thinking it will be.
ただ言いたいことがあるなら聞く。
I'll listen if you have something to say.
文句もあるだろうし、そういうのは今のうちに言っておいてくれ。その方がお互い気兼ねしなくて済む。
I'm sure you have complaints. It's me after all. So tell me them right now. I won't have to worry about making you unhappy if I know what mistakes to avoid, what little shitty tendencies I do that I'm sure you hate.
セイバーが俺とデートするのが嫌だって言うんなら、別の方法だって考える。
If you say you don't want to go on a date, if you think I'm that shitty, which I would understand, I'll think of something else, some other way to make you happy if me dating you is such a bad option, which I could totally relate to.
いえ、何もそこまでする必要はないと言いますか。私は
No, I don't think you need to go that far. I mean, since we're here already, we're already doing this date thing. I mean, if I have no choice, if you're forcing me to do it, I guess, we might as well. It could be maybe a little fun, maybe. I mean, don't completely fully love you because you're forcing me to do it, baka. Saber averts her gaze and runs out of words.
なら文句はないんだな。じゃあ行くぞ。
You have no complaints, and let's go. 行くぞ!
セイバーにリクエストがないんだから、どこ行ったって怒るなよ。
You have no requests, so don't get mad at me wherever you go. I mean, normally it'd be okay if you get mad at me, because I'm very get madable at, but you, we all thought that Rin was tsundere of the story. Everyone's fucking tsundere. Everyone's, everyone's a little bit racist sometimes. Everyone's a little bit tsundere sometimes. Oh. We have no requests, so don't get mad at me wherever we go. I know I'm very get madable at, but today you have to have fun, which means, you said the date is okay, and I know I'm gonna suck at picking something, but you have to like it anyways, dang it. I'm considering an ordinary place like an aquarium. Okay. Does she like sea creatures? An aquarium would probably do nothing for me. I mean, I don't know. It depends. Can you interact with the sea creatures? I like the interaction. Just looking at things generally doesn't do... I mean, I like looking at things. Don't get me wrong. I like jacking off to that point. But, the image is, far less than... there are some people that, love just scenery and images and taking in the sights. Never cared much for taking in the sights. Sights can be interesting to me, but I don't think to the extent that I've seen some people get interested in them. So like an aquarium, for example, where you go and look at the sea creatures. Wouldn't do much for me. If you could, I'm a big do person. I like to do. So if I can, it's a visual novel. We get to interact with the images, kind of. But if you can, I know there's places where you can pet dolphins or whatever. That could be kind of neat. But I sighed and grabbed Saber's hand. Oh shoot! First base achieved! Hold on. What are the bases? What is first base? What are the 5 bases in a relationship? In relationship sexual terminology. This is the stage in dating where the couple kisses or makes out. Okay, so we're on stage 0 then. Stage 1 is the kiss. Stage 0 is the holding hands. What are the 5 bases? There are no official... It's a fucking official at this point. Kissing. Second base. Oh, gosh. Anyways. I decide to grab Saber's hands. 0 with base achieved. Fate 0 with base!
シロ、文句はありませんが、何も手をつかむ必要はないのではありませんか?
Yeah, I bet you don't have complaints. Oh man. Frickin', the blushes in quick succession. This is gonna make her happier than anything else, is holding her hand, and then eventually when we smooch her, I mean, Shiro probably will not have the confidence to do that, or think she even will want to do that. But if he does, that would make her day for sure. That would probably be the big thing that would make her rethink erasing herself from existence, because she wants more of the Shiro booty. And I think that's the ultimate thing that could succeed in making her not erase herself from existence, is her wanting your Shiro booty, which I thought initially might have been your plan, but now I'm thinking it's less so. You wanted her to go on a date because you know dates are supposed to be fun, so you're like, she'll enjoy herself on this date, and then she'll want more, but you're not thinking about you specifically, but it's very much you specifically. Hold on, what is this? What did you do to me, wise fool? What is this? What is this link? God, 6, I have to hurry or I won't make it. Well, if I can't remember, it can't be anything important. I'm sorry, what? Sakura and Fuji in soccer ball. Oh, I don't get the joke. They're playing soccer? What? Huh? 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 Am I missing a joke? Anyways, it's just soccer. Oh, or is the idea that they're playing ball? And that's like they're playing the first base, and because it's ball, they're at that base. But usually, wouldn't it be baseball? Those were soccer balls. You're crossing the ball streams. You're crossing the balls. Shiro, I have no complaints, but there's no need to hold my hand. Swoon.
いや、時間ももったいないし、少し走るからな。
I don't want to waste time. We can consume more entertainment at a quicker pace if we run everywhere. Therefore, we must hold hands to not get separated. So we'll be running for a while. I'll show you the way, so follow me. It's a meme template where kids are left behind because their parents forgot about them. Okay. I don't get it. Because, like, are you saying that Fuji and Sakura got left behind by, because they were starting the story always hanging out with Shiro, but now he replaced them for Saber and Rin and now Ilya a bit? I get it, I think. No, I cannot do so in a situation like this. If I run like, when I'm this horny. I start to run without waiting for Saber's reply. Oh, shoot. Does running... Hold on. Wait, no, I gotta look this up now. Does running make you more... Does running increase your boner? Increase your sexual tension. Physical activity and good health likely increases libido. What? What is that? For both men and women, high blood pressure and obese... What? Both of which can be aided by running for... Huh? Improved sexual arousal. Aha! Exercise improves sexual arousal in women. Oh, I know. I remember hearing about this. That's right. I remember this. That's right. Constant exercise makes women more horny, but it makes men a little less horny. Is that a thing? I think I heard that at some point. Something like that. Anyways, I think it makes them both more horny, but like it makes women like, they're, anyways. Do you know what libido means? Well, now that you've asked, I have to look it up. I was just gonna move on. I didn't, but now I have to know. Libido. What? Definition? Person's overall sexual drive or desire for sexual activity. I did not know that word. I learned a new sex word. Yay, mommy. I learned a new sex word. I just refer to it as sexual drive and desire. But okay, libido is one word, I guess. Anyways, I start to run without waiting for Saber's reply. Yeah, we gotta get our libido levels up. Since I've talked big to Saber, I can't act miserable now. Renegade's asking the important questions. Uh-huh. I just have to take her to every possible place I can think of. I run, holding Saber's hand. Oh, look at this. The little way where we pan in to show the importance. She must have accepted as Saber finally stops complaining and follows me quietly. Ooh. Oh, that's right. She's getting into it. Mm-hmm. It's before 10 o'clock. I'll make the 2 hours before lunchtime worthwhile and surprise her. Surprise her? Like what, with a surprise makeout session? No, you probably wouldn't think of that. Or would you? Oh boy, oh boy. To summarize. No, don't summarize. I want every fucking detail. Don't chip me on this. Don't chip me on the most important scene of the game. The date. I need the date in my life. Ah! 0 to 10 visual novel. Skip the date. To summarize, the 2 hours went by like a storm. We went to a bouquet I usually don't go to, and we played bowling while I taught her the rules. She didn't know bowling. Oh, shoot. I was always okay at bowling. I definitely was not, you know, I'm not one of those people that goes like, strike, strike, strike. No, strike's a good thing in bowling, right? Because they're like, strike, you're out of there. That's a baseball thing. But in bowling, strikes are good, right? Hold on. Now this is on my head and I have to look it up. Strikes are good in bowling? Question mark. Strikes are good in bowling? Question mark. Strike. A bowling ball impacting but the ideal point is closer to for a right-handed release. What? The secret to a... That's correct. Strike is the good thing in the bowling. Anyways, I haven't played bowling in a long time. Yeah, I was never amazing at it. I was alright. I did okay. I think I did okay. I could do, like, what's the thing that's not a strike? I haven't played bowling in a long time. If I played again, it probably wouldn't be nearly as good. What's the thing after a strike? Hold on. Bowling, rules. Bowling rules. I don't need, okay. Bowling rules. Give me the Google. 10-pin bowling. Give me the Wikipedia. The most reliable source. You got a strike. What's the second thing called? Okay, wait, no, come on. What's the points? Bowling points. Score. Bowling strike spare? Is it a spare? Bowling spare. Is that the term? Spare is a term and indicate that all the pins have been knocked down during the set. That's the thing I was okay at. I didn't do strikes very often, but I was pretty good at getting them spares. Anyways. We went to a bouquet I usually don't go to, and we played bowling while I taught her the rules. I was good at sparing my friends from the humiliation of the gutter because I got a spare. What? Wii bowling, though, I wrecked Wii bowling. Frickin', you know, wasn't the, you know, maybe I wasn't amazing in real life, but Wii bowling, I was great at that. That was strikes all day, every day. Really, though, Wii bowling, I spent a lot of time on Wii bowling. Frickin' Wii Sports. I never touched Wii Sports U. I just never bothered. I feel like the phase had worn off. But when Wii Sports came the first time, it was kind of neat. I played a lot of those, but Wii bowling, I think, was the one that I did the most. Probably because I like bowling the most in real life of all those sports. I don't know. I couldn't find an aquarium, but we fed some birds in a park. Hopefully you fed them things that are healthy for birds to eat. You gotta be careful about that. Couldn't find an aquarium? You just wung it. You just wung it? You winged it. You winged it. Is that... What is the past tense of winging it? Hold on. You winged it or you wung it? What is the past tense of wing it? What is the past tense of wing it? The past tense of wing it is winged it. That sounds wrong. So, we wung it. I couldn't find the... She couldn't find the... I assumed he just knew where things were. They just went to a random spot. That's so weird to me, especially as someone who likes planning things in advance. I'd be like, I don't want to waste time going to random things. I need to know what I'm going to. Couldn't find an aquarium, but we fed some birds in a park. I mean, birds are basically, you know, if you go by Wind Waker logic, birds are just evolved fish, so it works. We also went to... I love the imaging style of seeing Saber as like a fade-out. You could argue that that's sort of like, what's the term I'm looking for? That's sort of like an analogy for like how Shiro only cares about what Saber thinks about. Shiro's constantly looking at her, and so now it's like just seeing everything that isn't her, because he has to focus on everything that isn't her because he wants her to enjoy everything else. And the silhouette is white because because it's symbolizing the fact that she's, now I'm just making shit up, it's symbolizing the fact that she's like dead, but she's not really dead, but she's half dead, and ghosts are white, therefore she's almost a ghost. But we're trying to keep her from being a ghost, so we're trying to color her in so she isn't, translucent anymore, so she becomes a real girl and doesn't erase herself from existence. We also went to an antique store, and I still think it was best not to go to the movie theater. Yeah, then you have to spend more time on a movie and less time on each other. Anyway, I kept taking her to places a girl might like for the past 2 hours, and there were many results. Honorable defeats and total defeats. And almost successes, but mostly defeats. I would think that white would symbolize purity more. I guess you could say Saber is pure, maybe. Like, I guess that's your interpretation. Well, in my opinion, I have the correct interpretation, and yours is wrong. And, I'm a sopalist. Therefore, my opinion is correct. Is that a term? I know sopalism is a term. Or is it, like, is sopalist? Because there's sopalism. There's sopalism, but can you be sopalistic? Oh, that's sopalistic. That is a term. Theory holding that the self can know nothing, but it's yeah, right. So I'm pro-sopalism. I do enjoy my own enjoyments, but I don't think I'm a sopalist. Honorable defeats and total defeats. I'm not a Gilgamesh. Why would Shiro think Saber is dead since his whole character arc is her being a real girl? I should challenge your rust assumptions. Look, it's because he knows that she's going to die on the hill, that she wants to die, that he has to prevent it from happening. That's why she's the white silhouette, because he always saw her as her girl self until now, because he sees her as fading away, because she knows she's going to erase herself from the timeline. So he now sees her as the white form because she's fading, because his date is failing, because he knows he sucks, because he sucks, and he knows he thinks he sucks, therefore anything he does is going to suck, so he sees her fading from existence. His date is failing, therefore she's fading from existence, and he has to save her from fading into white, because she would fade into white because it's purity, because she's pure, so our theories work in tandem. I don't think this is what people call a date. Also, freaking Shadowverse calls Rush a thing where you can attack twice in one turn, but Hearthstone calls Rush a thing where you can attack the turn you're summoned, just not attack the face, and they're two different things but use the same term, and it throws me off. So all card games, I mean, they can sometimes use the same terms. Like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Uses Graveyard, Magic Gathering, I think, uses Graveyard. And then, but then sometimes they just make up different terms just to be fucking edgy, when an existing term fucking exists. And don't even get me started on Shadowverse and its fucking play points. It's mana, goddammit. That's a random tangent that came out of nowhere. I mean, do you know Shadowverse has Fate characters? What? I know that it has a couple crossovers, like I noticed Grand Blue Fantasy, which is on Netflix, and I've watched a couple episodes of, and it's got like the zombie thing or whatever. I haven't watched any of it, but the zombie idol show, which I know was kind of popular, her fading would fit more of a gray color than a pure white color. I don't know how much it has, but there may be spoilers. Well, hopefully I don't recognize the spoilers. I looked into it and I got all the free packs and stuff, and I didn't notice any Fate stuff. Maybe the Fate stuff is no longer in it, like it ran its course and it's now like you've lost your chance to get the promo, because Fate came out like years ago. Oh, it does? I fucking don't know. Right now I'm just focusing on the story mode, okay? So, unless the story mode has Fate spoilers. Well, I don't know what they are, okay? Okay, you're freaking out, apparently. Wise Fool is freaking out. Maybe I should stay away from Shadow. It's okay, the game is basically just anime Hearthstone. I like Hearthstone, but, like, Blizzard's been pooping recently, so I tell myself I'm a better person if I play Shadowverse instead. These Fate promos are for the latest movies? Oh, so I should avoid it. Okay, well, I went in and claimed all the free prizes, and if I had seen anything that said Fate, I would have avoided it. So I think I'm okay. If I've been spoiled, it's a spoiler I didn't realize was a spoiler. So it's Schrodinger's spoiler. There was a thing, it's like Grand Blue Fantasy stuff, or you can get iZombie or whatever stuff. There was none that said fate. If there was, I would have just not clicked it. But, anyways, I don't think this is what people would call a date. This is more like a contest. A fight to the death where the first one to give up loses. What? I mean, sure, you guys both want to die, but I think that's a bit harsh. A fight to the death where the first one to give up loses. What? Really? Maybe because you both don't know how dates work, because you're bad at dates. That these are big spoilers. You definitely know when you see them. So luckily you didn't stumble upon them. I mean, yeah, like I just it was kind of a whim. What really did it was ProZD. I've been watching a lot of ProZD skits lately. I've been marathoning a lot of his skits. And he had an advertisement for Shadowverse, which I know I heard about back in the day, but I never looked into it. But I was just like, fuck it, I'll look into it. So hey, one of those sponsorships did a thing for the company. But, I mean, it's pretty good. The Shadowverse is pretty good from what I've seen about, they'll have if you're going to get a thing, it's like, here's a pack, click on this icon. And the icon has the name of what it is. So I would have never clicked on a name if it was there, but... maybe now that you've said that, I'll avoid it for a while if a promo for the new movie is coming out, because that's probably sketchy, but... It's more like a contest, a fight to the death where the first one to give up loses. Anyways, back to the game. The not Shadowverse game. Saber's the same as usual, no matter where I take her. She sometimes goes so quiet that I seriously start wondering if she's really mad. She's the same as usual because she's just thinking about you and how she's holding your hand. And that's giggity. She is enjoying it, even if you don't realize it. You're freaking out because you want her to enjoy it. She's just enjoying it because she's just enjoying it. You probably would be enjoying and holding her hand if you weren't freaking about her not enjoying it. Which is funny because she probably is enjoying it. Anyways, it's when she's quietest that she's most into your presence. She gives no reaction, so I become desperate to make her happy at the next place I take her to. And you trying to make her happy more probably makes her more happy, which makes her more quiet because she doesn't know how to react. Because she's so happy. As a result, I become obstinate about making Saber smile and run around different places all morning, but it's already noon without much success. And so because you see her not reacting, you think she just wants to die. Like she hates the circumstance and wants to just you think she's finding any excuse she can to quit the date. Whereas you're also thinking that it's a fight to the death because you think maybe she's trying to make you find an excuse so she can be a bigger man. That's not what she's doing at all, but... So... As Saber reminded me it's time for lunch, I decided to take a short break, but Demo-sa... What? What is this place? That's fucking abrupt. What just happened? What just happened? Where are we? Are you having a vision? A vision of your past self? Or did you get knocked out? Did you get knocked unconscious? Did you get kidnapped? By the Ilias Veils? By the Gilgamesh Veils? By the Makiri Veils? Everyone's a Veil. I complain once we're seated at a table. You're having like a romantic dinner. Or, oh, that's probably going to freak you out. Or is it? Is that what's happening? Shiro and Saber seems to have stumbled upon a restaurant. I recommend the restaurant by the river if you're going to have lunch. Of course, Rin would choose something super fancy and expensive because she always has to keep up appearances. She can never be seen going to some dive bar. She has to be seen going to the most luxurious places because nothing less for the Tosaka name, grumble grumble. That was the only advice Tosaka gave me last night. I trusted her and chose this place, but I never thought it would be so... fastidious? What is... Oh, I'm learning all kinds of new words. Fastidious. Fastidios. What is that word? I'm looking up a lot today. I don't usually Google this much during a stream. Fastidios. Very attractive to and concerned about accuracy and detail. Very concerned about matters of cleanliness. Huh. Never heard that word before. Okay. Neat. I have to hiccup a little bit. Yeah, I have to hiccup, and I'm out of water. Let's go ahead and use this. Fancy dinner time. Apex of the day. That was the only advice Tosaka gave me last night. I trusted her and chose this place, but it's so gaudy. Fastidious. That's such a word. That's such a word. Hold on. What? Okay, no, I gotta know this now. Also took a break. Well, yeah, good. That's part of the reason I have breaks. It's for myself, but also gives you a chance to take a weenus. English to Japanese, because I've never heard this word. So I'm assuming it's some weird, obscure Japanese word? Fastidious. Okay, and now let's look this up in Jisho. Also, do you say the same thing when I switch you around? Hard to please. That is not the same thing. Hard to please, moody, crusty, fastidious. Oh, no, that is, okay. The word is kimuzukashi. Kimuzukashi. I always have trouble with that. Kimuzukashi, because it's she and then the character for E. But it's already the character for she, so is it kimuzukashi? But they don't space out their, like, Japanese is so fast with their pronunciation. The only thing if it was like, for example, ki, shi, muzuka, then the extra E would tell me that I'm supposed to actually pronounce the she, because a lot of the time E and U are silent. But otherwise, like, stretching out these syllables, I just don't know what the difference is a lot of the time. Okay, let me hear what the Japanese voice says.
気難しい。気難しい。
Okay, they stretch it out a little bit. Kimuzukashi. Kimuzukashi. What if it was just... Hold on. What if it was just kimuzukashi? Oh, embarrassed.
気難しい。
Kimuzukashi versus kimuzukashi. Okay. Kimuzukashi versus kimuzukashi. I have trouble with stretching out vowels. That's one of my issues with learning Japanese. But anyways... Shiro also has a good vocab. It's a very fancy word. I never thought it would be so fastidious. I see fastidious and I think of the word hideous. And fast and hideous. Well, you could argue that some people would argue that anything that this fancy is hideous, but ellipses. I look at the menu. Fortunately, the menu has a version in Japanese as well. So I have no problems reading it. What's the normal version in? English? I know that's Japan's normal second language, so I guess if they had a third language it would be Chinese, because their languages are so similar. The trouble is, I can't understand what kind of food it is from the name, and the prices are outrageous. Oh, so let me guess, the names are in English. That would be weird if I got a menu with just Japanese names. I mean, I would just go based on the image then. I think the image could tell me a lot. But, what if it had, like, frickin'... I don't like eating pig. So if it had pig in it, I might not know based off the image. I can't understand what kind of food it is from the name, and the prices are outrageous. Well, yeah, it's a place Tosaka sent you. No frickin' wonder. And, yeah, Tosaka lives in the western side. The side that's, like, foreign or whatever, right? I believe. So, even though this is, like, her turf, it's still, like, a foreign... relatively foreign group to the area, so she probably would know some amount of English. I'm not surprised. I know they generally teach English in schools, and she wants to be perfect in everything, so she probably has pretty good English, whereas his English is probably very shaky. But, what was I going to look up? There was a thing that I was just going to look it up, and now I've forgotten what it was. Oh, right. I've seen this around, Simplified Chinese. And I've never looked into it, but I've just been inspired to look into it. What is the difference? Chinese versus Simplified Chinese. What's the difference? Chinese versus Simplified Chinese. What is the difference? Traditional Chinese and simplified Chinese. The most obvious difference between Chinese and simplified Chinese is the way the characters look. Oh, okay. Simplified Kanji. Is that it? Traditional characters are simply more complicated, have more strokes. Simplified characters are, as the name suggests, simpler and have fewer strokes. Okay, makes sense. I thought that might be what it is. I know over time Japan has simplified some of their kanji, but China, their entire alphabet is kanji. So, I guess I can understand why there's two basically separate languages at this point. Anyways. The name and the prices are outrageous.
火星かここは。何を頼んでいいのか全くわからないぞ。
Am I on Mars? I seriously don't know what I should order. I groan looking at the menu.
シロ、ここには昼食を取るために立ち寄ったのではないのですか?
Shiro, did we not come by here to eat lunch? I mean, we did, but it's all gaudy and like, you know, it's like it's got that rich bitch vibe. Which, I mean, you know, I'm not saying Rin's a rich bitch, but she plays the rich bitch character. She puts on that front. I hear a rather frail voice from the other side of the table. I mean, did you want to do something else instead while we're here? I'm open to possible. Is this a couple's restaurant? Oh, maybe it is. Maybe she chose this one on purpose. Like, she would always pick the gaudy places, but like, but also knowing her and knowing, you know, wanting to mess with Shiro, she might have purposely chose like a couple's restaurant.
そうなんだが、いかんせん勝手が違うというか。
Good thing Shiro works part-time jobs a lot. Still, does he have the, like, part-time jobs only go so far? Does he have the money for this? Yeah, but it's too different from what I'm used to. I mean, I'm like, he doesn't have, I don't think he has to pay rent or anything, because I think his dad owned the place. And when you don't have to pay rent, like, the amount of money you need for your living is so much freaking lower. But even still, there's a bit of a difference between, you know, like, the budgets, you have more flexibility when you make more money, but say still have to pay rent, versus make less money, but don't have to. If the distinction between the two is equal, then making more plus the rent would be better, because there's more potential in flexibility, but it's too different from what I'm used to. I raise my head. And then, oh fuck. There is Saber with an expression like a concerned rabbit. Saber's a rabbit. Never thought of her like that before.
Saber?
Saber?
落ち着かないのなら、今だけでも屋敷に戻りましょう。シロが用意してくれるものの方が私は好みです。
The landlord of the place currently is Fuji's grandfather, right, who's a Yakuza. I mean, yeah, that's basically more or less what I assumed. I mean, I didn't know if Kiritsugu fully owned it, but I understood that Shiro wasn't having to pay any kind of rent. You receive a... because landlord's a mafia boss, that's still funny to think of. Didn't you receive a nice bonus by helping at Neko-san's place? Well, yeah. I do remember that. He did get but it wasn't crazy. It was like, for a part-time worker, it was a pretty hefty bonus. It was something really big, like, I don't know, a full week of full-time pay, or maybe even like 2 weeks of full-time pay, which is a lot, but you know, if you only get that once and then never again for several weeks, especially now, recently, I don't think he's been working much at his job, because he's been focusing on the Grail War. It's only been a couple weeks, I guess, even though it feels like much more. Still, the money could potentially run out fast, depending. He might have the money for it, but if he spends it all on this, he might want to spend it on other things, not this. Then again, you know, maybe for Saber's sake he might, but would he have to pay for himself and Saber, though? That's the thing, he'd have to pay for both of them, you'd think, because I don't think Saber has money. So, if you cannot relax, let us return to the mansion. I prefer the food you prepare anyway, Shiro. I mean, yeah, pretty much. She freaking loves his cooking. She loves his cooking because she loves him, but also he does make good cooking, so her, like, if he's the one who brought her, because that's always the weird thing. Like, if you take someone to a fancy restaurant, be like, hey, I'm trying to impress you with the fancy restaurant, that clashes a bit if you're someone who's good at making food and the other person likes your food. In that case, the best food would just be if you did homemade food. But Shiro would never think like that. He does the homemade food because, like, you know, he has to. But, you know, in this case, you think, I'm going to impress her by letting her have food that isn't mine for once. That kind of whole thing.
それは家に帰りたいってことか。
You mean you want to go home? I mean, I think from the start she never wanted to go in the first place, but I think she's into the date at this point. But she wouldn't mind going home to have food and then go back out. I think at this point she's committed.
いえ、屋敷に帰りたいわけではなくですね。今日はひどく緊張したので、普段より疲れてしまったのです。
She admits she doesn't want to go back. She wants the date to keep going. She's really been enjoying herself, and Shiro's not caught on to that at all. I do not want to go back home, but today's been really exhausting, so I'm more tired than usual. And you've been exhausting yourself, fantasizing about Shiro all day while you've been holding his hand.
本当か。そうか。ここで飯にして一息ついたらまた街を出歩こうと思ったんだけど。
Really? I
セイバーが
see.
疲れたんならしばらくここで休憩しようか。
I thought about going out into town again after eating, but if you're tired, we can rest here for a while.
まさかそのようなことはありません。疲れたというのは語弊がありました。正しくはですね。
No, that's not what I meant. Tired was not the word I meant. It should have been sexually charged. Libidoed. Libidoed? Is that a word? In libido. Filled with much libido. Saber stops. Oh, I think that was her stomach, so I think, you know, you're not tired, you're hungry. You're sexually hungry? Small gurgling sound was fortunately small enough that only I could hear. Oh, if she was hungry, she could have just told me. Well, I mean, it is food time, so that's fine, I think. She's too proud to admit to you, because even though she wants your food, you did this nice date for her, which she's been enjoying so much. So she's like too embarrassed to be like, oh, on top of that, could you make me food? You know, she could never do that. You know. You gotta look at it from that perspective, Shiro. Not that you ever would. If you were smart enough to look at it from that perspective, we wouldn't be in this situation, I guess.
申し訳ありません。つまり、昼食は早めにしてもらえると助かるということです。
So in other words, I'm saying it would be most practical for us to have lunch in most haste. Hastiest of possible ways. Hayaku kudasai.
了解。そうだな。面白みがないけど無難なところを頼んでみて。さっさと飯にやりつこうか。
Yokai watch. Yokai shimashita. Roger, yeah, it's no fun, but let's order something safe. Safe? Safe as in cheap? And get our food quickly. Oh, that's right, they don't know what the names are, so just look at the food and... I remember I first heard Yokai Shimashita, and I was watching Digimon Applemon. I gotta watch more of that, I've only seen the first episode. But I was learning a little bit of Japanese while I watched that. And I heard Yokai Shimashita, and they said Roger, Roger. And I'm like, oh, so that means like Roger, Roger? And I looked it up, and I tried to look up Yokai, like Yokai Watch, because that's why I looked it up, because it was weird. I'm like, what? I thought Yokai is like a demon, Yokai Watch. And Yokai is a demon, but they weren't saying Yokai, they were saying Yokai. Which you might have not noticed the difference in what I just said just now, but there is, which was hard for me to notice as well. Because, you know, the R, the Ra, is very hard to make out when you say ra, ri, ru, re, ro, it's easy, but when you say ya, yu, yo, it sounds very much just like ya, yu, yo, ya, yu, yo, ya, yu, yo. It's so close that when I hear yokai, I think yokai, and it's not the same thing, but it sounds so fucking similar. Anyway, so yeah, when I first looked up, I was like, wait, what? Yokai means, I assumed it was a kanji difference thing. Like, yokai can mean demon, but yokai can also mean Roger. But no, it's not yokai, it's ryokai. No, the R was too hard there. Yokai. Anyways, Roger, yeah, it's no fun. Sorry. That came to mind. The word Roger is just funny to me now. Anyways, Roger, yeah, it's no fun. Let's order something safe and get our food quickly. It's simple if all we want are light snacks. I ordered 2 things from the lunch menu and decided to eat quickly. Don't eat quickly. Don't waste the food. Nah. I mean, at least in a place like this, I feel like you want to savor it, maybe. I don't know. I tend to also eat quickly. I feel like eating slowly is a waste of my time. And I enjoy the food just as much when I eat it quickly. When I eat it slowly, I feel like I'm wasting time generally. But I can understand people who want to savor it. But personally, I feel like I savored enough in the aftertaste. Like, I eat it all, and then the aftertaste stays around for a while, so... I just like getting on with the rest of my day, man. Don't want to waste time on eating. I consider what to do in the afternoon, and I consider what to do in the afternoon while drinking the after-meal coffee. Ugh, not a coffee person. But okay, sure. Drinking the after-meal coffee. Oh, this place does... this place looks a little bit like... Travian! Ace Attorney, when's the Switch port? I really am hoping it gets a Switch port. Hold on. Dual Destinies. Switch port, dang it. Hurry up with the new Nintendo Direct so you can announce the Dual Destinies Switch port. Need to come to Switch. Yes, I agree, but there's no news of one yet. No. Anyways. But yeah, this looks a bit like Trevia. I'm just thinking of their food and coffee. That would be a much huge, like, it's already a whiplash, I would think, because Saber likes Shiro's food so much that suddenly going from Shiro's food to this food that isn't Shiro's food probably let her down a bit. But if it was frickin' Trebian's food, God, it would be the biggest of food catastrophes. I consider what to do in the afternoon while drinking the after-meal coffee. What I learned this morning is that anything physical is not good. What? What? Saber gets serious when it comes to contests. Oh, anything physical is not good? Well, what if it is good? What if she likes the content? Like, yeah, she gets serious, but maybe she enjoys the seriousness? Like, what contest did you do? The bowling? You taught her bowling, right? Did she get too into the bowling? I cannot lose at the bowling. I have to be King Arthur at the... I have to be king of the bowling. King of the iron bowling pins. That's good for me, but it makes Saber stand out even more. It's good for you? What, because you like it when she wins? Maybe she likes it when you like it when you win. Oh, but it makes other boys look at her and go, oh, she's fine at that bowling. And you're like, no, don't look at my Saber. After we finished the game, Saber got angry because she caught all the attention she wanted to avoid. Oh, well, okay, that's fair.
そんなわけで体を動かすのは避けると。
You should avoid anywhere that involves moving around. I suppose it's possible she was just being tsundere, because the attention she wanted was your attention. She just wants your attention. She thinks anyone else giving her attention is a waste of time. Maybe you didn't praise her enough, and that's why she was being tsundere about it. Like, you're like, oh, they're giving me all the attention, sure. Why aren't you giving me as much attention? I mean, yes, it's a date, and you're giving me all the attention, but you're supposed to, like, you know, I'm doing really good, so you can, like, praise me for doing good, not for these weirdos to praise me. That kind of thing. We should avoid anywhere that involves moving around.
なあ、セイバー。2度目になるけど、どこか行きたいところってあるか?
Saber, I'm asking for a second time now that you seem to be into this whole thing. Is there anywhere you want to go? Oh god, that fucking smile.
私にですか? いえ、特にはありません。私ではわかりませんから。
Me?
このままシロにお任せします。
No, there's not. I cannot tell, so I'll leave it up to you. God, she's so fucking into this date. She's enjoying it so much, and he thinks she's hating it. It's great. Saying so, Saber lifts her teacup. It doesn't matter where they go, as long as you're there, Shiro. Saber ordered English tea, so a Tosaka variety. Seems she really likes the taste. Smiles the definition of content. Uh-huh. We don't have much English tea at my place, and even if we did, it's all instant tea bags. But it's instant tea bags from your place, Shiro. That makes it the best tea. Seems Saber was a bit dissatisfied with the drinks at my house, as she seems to like English tea. Maybe she likes it, but really what's going on here is that when she likes the food you make because your food is good, but she also likes it because you make it and she likes you. And now, even though you're not the one making the food, you still bought the food for her, you still took her to this fancy place. It's still sort of you in a way, so she's enjoying it, but in fact it's more you than ever because she's in the high from the date. The date has made her so high that it's like, oh, the food is just, oh, and she seems elated by this food, but don't let that fool you. It's you, not the food. I mean, it could be okay, but of course King Arthur would order English tea, even though his lineage is different from what... Right, of course, because, he's kind of... She is, from the England-ish place, so I guess that's true. But, still, don't act like it's the best thing I like the food because you made it. Or you ordered it, in this case. Should put that in consideration starting tonight. It's not bad to consider it, but we'll have to see if, it'll be interesting, you know, I don't know if we'll actually get if this will go anywhere, but it'll be interesting to see if she actually likes this tea more than the other tea you had, or if she, you know, did prefer that tea because it was so unusual maybe from what she had before, and she liked it because you made it, and she only likes this a lot because it's a special date occasion, but on a normal occasion she might like the other tea more. But still, it's something to put into consideration. That's plotful. Oh God, she's so happy, but she's saying nothing, so you think she's so like, what is she thinking? What can I do to make her like it? But you can't understand from her smiling face that she likes it. Dash dash. Saber's sitting there and drinking tea. She doesn't seem happy or bored. Are you fucking kidding me? She's elated. Can you not tell from the way she's smiling and blushing, and she's constantly nervous when she talks? She's having the time of her life, her unlife, her midlife crisis as she's in the middle of a crisis before she erases herself from existence. If I had to use one word to describe her, it'd be that she looks natural. Well, I don't think so. Natural is when she's fighting, I would argue. Maybe this is what you think girls should naturally look like, but it's not what she normally looks like. She drinks her tea, sitting up straight in the shadows of the streaming sunlight. Even though this is the first time I've seen such a thing, it doesn't seem strange. It feels like I've seen such a scene before. In a flashback. Woo! Back when you were in your previous life before the Grail spat you out. Woo! Why do I feel that? The Saber I know is a tense girl, who's always holding a sword and fighting. Also, you've had dreams about her, so there's that too. I see. Even if he finds out that Saber is happy is due to the activities and locations, yeah, he'll think it's the activities, he won't think it's himself. He'll always choose anything else until she says, it's because of you. If she starts to be happy with everything, he might start to think, wow, she actually is very easily pleased when she gets into it. Okay, cool. This makes dates with her easy. I see. And for him, dates will be easy, but not because of the things, because of the... it's only natural. I also know her attitude after she lets go of her sword. Once she stops fighting, Saber has always been calm and gentle. The scene looks natural rather than new because it's her true nature. Yeah, it's her true nature around you. You've pulled this nature out of her. She hasn't felt this way in a while. No matter how superior she is as a swordsman, it's natural for Saber to be like this. That's just because you think it is, because you think it should be. You're putting your ideas of her on her, even though I don't think that's really the truth. Aww. I like the idea of you, Saber. I mean, I also like the actual you. But I wish you were also the idea of you at the same time of being the actual you. Rather, it's abnormal for her to hold a sword at all. And here we go with this again. No, none of the fighting. Shouldn't have ever done it. I wouldn't go that far. I do think she should not erase herself from existence, but, you know, Shiro does go a bit far with that whole, you know, the sexism. Shiro's thinking this because he saw her right before she became a king. That's, yeah, fair, I guess. I once thought in my dream that she wasn't suited for fighting. You've thought way more than just in your dream that she's not suited for fighting. There was that whole plot arc about how you weren't going to let her fight. And it's like, I'm going to fight the other servants like a stoop. Have you forgotten that? I don't think I'm wrong. No matter how superior her technique or no matter how many battles she's experienced. Well, if fighting all that much fucked her up this much, then maybe, yeah, maybe it's true she's not. Maybe she's good at it, but that doesn't mean she likes it. There's a certain sense to that, I suppose. Then again, a lot of people don't like fighting. There are some people that genuinely do like fighting, but it's just, you know, good fighters, you know, don't always make good leaders, etc., etc., etc. And I think Saber actually did make a pretty fucking good leader, for what it's worth, even though she doesn't think so. As long as she is who she is, it can't have been a comfortable place to be. So this is natural. You want it to be natural. You want this to continue to be natural. And I think it would be nice if it is. But you're going to, you know, I think you're going to have to realize what she really wants for her to be convinced to stay around. Because if you never realize what she really wants, you won't realize how to make her want it more. I think Shiro had his plot arc with his sexism and whatever. But this line of thought he's having is more related to his dream and flashbacks. Yeah, but I mean, it's sort of, you know, they co-align. They overlap. Saber is resting, not holding a sword. The calm scene is the way she should be. Sure. And then... Ooh. Don't think I recognize this song. We do the same thing in the afternoon. And again, she hates all of it. She never says anything. I don't think I recognize this song. I think this might be the first time hearing it. Is this the Saber Shiro date song? Maybe I've heard it before. Okay, now it sounds familiar. If I have heard it before, it's not been a long time in the game. I go to every place I can think of, and Saber follows me silently. It is a new song. Okay. But it's not as painful as it was in the morning. I like it. I'm gonna consider this the date song. I don't know if it's because I'm getting used to it, or the Saber is complying. I mean, she was complying before. I think it's you're getting used to it. Saber still isn't talkative, but if I look closely, her expression isn't what it is when she's mad. I don't think it ever was, but I think you're just now starting to notice the patterns now that you've been with her all day, looking for signs of goodness. There's a feeling of accomplishment and happiness when I see Saber leave a shop with light steps. I don't think it's... maybe it's accomplishment, but not in the way you think, I think. I think it's not, unless she actually is getting into the activities now, because she is fully committed to the date. And so even though she still mostly is just wherever I am with you is good, it's possibly, well, I'll actually start getting into these activities, I guess, because I might as well, since that's what dates are, I suppose. So maybe that's why she starts to look more accomplished, and he sees that, possibly. So, considering many factors that might make Saber happy from many angles, you are the factor! You make her happy! What? I'm a bit dubious, but I've determined that this shop will be the best suited for Saber. You gonna get her a big teddy bear? Jeez. Animal Alley. It's written in English. Nani desu ka? What is Animal Alley in Japanese? I'm curious. Okay, animal, the word animal, dobotsu. Alley? Dobotsu no roji? Let's see here. Copy, switch around. Animal Alley. Dobotsu no roji. And does Jisho confirm that? Dobutsu? I thought it was dobotsu. Oh, it's dobutsu, I misread. Dobutsu. Move, motion, change, confusion, shift, shake, thing, object, matter for dobutsu. Animal. And then the other one is roji. Alley. Path, route, road, distance, ground, earth. That one's easy to remember. That's kanji actually makes sense with the fucking word. I fucking hate the kanji meanings. Now sometimes they have nothing to do with the goddamn word they're in. Kanji's freaking confusing. But this one actually makes sense. Path, route, road, plus ground, earth, alley. I'll take it. Alley, alleyway, lane. Bare earth, open field, outdoors. Yeah, that can work as... Yeah, I don't think that is the same as an alley, but okay, whatever. Tea house garden. What? Path through a gate. Okay, so that's a little more all-encompassing than I'm used to with my version of alley. But okay. So it's a bit more... Alright, I think I sort of understand that idea. Animal alley. Dobutsu roji. Okay. Neat. Also, hold on.
動物の路地
How is dobutsu versus... Wait, what is it? Wait, hold on. Hold on. Give me the fucking hiragana for a second. Botsu. What if it's just dobotsu and not dobotsu?
動物の路地
And then what if it's add the u?
動物の路地
Dobotsu no roji. Dobotsu no roji. Dobotsu no... Really? That seems like a long break.
動物の路地
Wow, I've been underestimating the differences between how long the breaks are supposed to be. Oh, no, I didn't want to do that.
動物の路地
Dobotsuno Roji. Yeah. I'm learning, but I'm so bad at the vowel distancing. Oh yeah, I gotta... Yeah, okay, got it. Shut up. Anyways, okay, back to the game. What? Nani desu ka, Yone? Saber stands there dumbfounded. I don't know if her shoulders are shaking because she's angry or because she's deeply moved. I think it's a combination of I don't want one of those things, but the thought that he's gonna get me one is kind of cute. Or maybe she actually does want one.
Shiro, ここは
Shiro, this is Kokowa. Coco indeed. Coco is here, not this. So the more accurate translation would be Shiro here is, although I guess this is works fine for the context, because that would be kind of awkward to be like, it's, you know, Shiro here, yeah, I suppose this works best for translation. Subtitles like that bug me more and more, though, no, that when I actually learn the real words is like, nope, that's wrong, and I have to complain about it.
街で一番品揃えのいいぬいぐるみ屋だってさ。男子禁制らしいんで立ち寄ったことはなかったけど。
What? The biggest stuffed animal shop in town. I've never been here before since men aren't allowed in. What? It's just women only? And men can only come if they're a +1 to a woman? Is that an ironclad rule of this shop? I've never heard of such a thing. I mean, maybe I can assume places like that exist, but I feel like they'd be extremely niche. What? Of course, there's actually not a rule like that. Oh, you're just making it up? What? Since there's only women, it's like an unwritten rule. What? Because what? Only women work here. It's an unwritten rule. It's an unwritten rule. Then only women buy stuff here. It's not an actual rule. Men could, but that would demasculate them, so they don't. Fuck gender roles. Fuck the societal expectations. You want to buy a fucking girl teddy bear? You buy a girl teddy bear. To prove it, there are only girls in here. The golden-haired Saber is being stared at, but being a guy, I'm being glared at. Ooh. They're envious of Saber for being so pretty, but they're also like, freaking Shiro. Hey, you fucking, what do you think you're doing here? You're a boy. But not only are you a boy, but also, like, would you want to be with me instead of her? You've been freaking with that such a pretty girl, prettier than me? How dare you? Something. Of course, he would never consider that they would actually think of wanting to be with him instead of Saber, because, you know, that would involve him thinking they want to be with him. I'm sure they want to tell me not to come into their sanctuary. I feel the same way. It feels weird. Cooties, gross. Let's get out of here. Hurry up and buy something, Saber. Buy a teddy bear so we can go. I would not approve of men entering this place. Well, you're a man and you've entered this place. For the sake of Saber, I have tarnished my manly pride.
ま、せっかく来たんだから周りは気にせず見て回ろう。そういえば好きな動物っているか?
Well, let's ignore everyone and look around since we're here. Saber, is there an animal you like? What is my favorite animal? I like dogs. I like wolves. Might just be the wolf. Lions are cool. Probably... cats are nice. I like a lot of animals. I'm an animal fan. If I had to pick a favorite, it would probably be dog. Let's ignore everyone and look around since we're here. Saber, is there an animal you like? Not that I own a dog, nor do I think I'd want to own a dog. I don't like responsibility. But I do enjoy dogs. I enjoy other people's dogs. Used to have a giant monkey when I was young. A monkey? As a pet? That's crazy. Monkeys are very fun. I like monkeys. Wolves are the coolest? Yeah, I probably would go with wolves too. If we're talking about pets, probably dogs. If we're talking about non-pets, probably wolves. Monkeys though, oof. I like monkeys. Monkeys are up there. Probably after wolves, I go monkeys. Wolves and monkeys and dogs. Then the boring version of wolves. Let's ignore everyone and look around since we're here. Saber, is there an animal you like? Not as a pet, dum-dum. As a stuffed animal. Oh! I don't know, man. I have no idea what things are, you know. I've seen some weird pets in my day, so. Probably, yeah. Wolves, monkeys, then dogs. If I had to like make a hierarchy, lions would definitely come up there. Like probably after dogs would be lions. Lions might come before dogs. Top 3: wolves, monkeys, lions. I like lions a lot. I don't know. Might be wolves, lions, monkeys. Then dogs. Dogs is number 1 of the domesticated, but we don't have monkeys down here in Australia. Only kangaroos. That's a meme. I guess there's truth in every meme. Kangaroos are kind of neat. Kangaskhan is kind of neat. Is there an animal you like?
その主に獅子やヒョウなどは愛らしいと思っているのですが、おかしいでしょうか。
I feel that lions and panthers are lovely, but is that strange? Lions? You are a Lannister. Panthers? I guess you just like cats. Makes sense. I think. Does it? I could see you as a cat person. I could see you as a crazy cat lady when you're older. More kangaroos that live in Australia than humans. Is that fucking true? Sounds like a meme. I've heard the memes of how there's so many kangaroos in Australia. I assumed it was just a joke over-exaggerating. Hold on. How many kangaroos in Australia? 50 million. Holy fuck! That is a lot! Australia is home to 25 million people and an estimated 50 million kangaroos! Ah! That is a lot! The meme is real! I knew about the joke. I thought that was an over-exaggeration. Wow! That's a lot of kangaroos! That's fun. Wait, do male kangaroos have pouches? I don't think so, but maybe it depends on the type. All female marsupials have a marsupium. Is that what it's called? Very few male marsupials. Few, but some? Very few male marsupials have this pouch. We know by now that male kangaroos don't. Okay, male kangaroos don't. Some species of male marsupials do indeed have pouches. Okay. Water opossums, but males have pouches. Interesting. That's neat. Lions, aka the symbol of Pendragon. Well, wouldn't that be dragons? Yeah. No, it's true. There's a reason why kangaroos are Australia's symbol. Nice. I feel that lions and panthers are lovely, but is that strange? Dash. I look away instantly and contain my laughter. I don't contain my laughter. The funny thing is, Saber is strange for thinking she's strange for thinking lions are cute. Lions are rather cute. Well, you're strange for thinking it's strange that people would like you, Shiro. And you're strange also for thinking it's strange that a lot of things. What I'm saying is you're strange, Shiro. You're a stranger thing.
Shiro, 今の行為は不自然です。何か言われのない怒りを覚えるのですが、私の気のせいでしょうか?
That gesture was unnatural. That gesture was unnatural. I feel unreasonable anger, but perhaps it's just my imagination. It's your imagination. You see him looking away. You assume she's thinking, ah, I see. This is where the coldness comes from. She genuinely does really like you, and she wants the best, but she doesn't think you would like her. She's like, there's always that process of her hating herself. So when she sees you look away and doing something weird, she thinks, oh God, he hates me. But also there's a duology here of, wait, we're on a date and he asked me on the date. That means he's supposed to like me. So why is he doing something weird on the date? Is this some kind of trap? Is this not a real date? Is it all a trap? Does he not like me? That kind of thing, maybe. Perhaps it's just my imagination?
いや、悪い。ライオンってのがあんまりにもセイバーらしかったんで、つい笑っちまった。
Oh, sorry. Liking lions is so likey, so I had to laugh. Saber thinks Shiro is mocking him half the time. That's probably what it is. Saber thinks she's very worthy of being mocked. A lot like, Shiro looks down on himself, so when other people look down on him, it's like, that's probably what's happening. And Saber, I'm assuming, has the same thoughts. They're very alike in that sense. Very self-loathing and assuming, why would anyone else like me? Of course, if they're doing something weird, it means they're disliking me.
人の趣味を笑うのは良くないことです、シロ。それに、ライオンも悪くありません。
How dare you laugh at other people's preferences? There's nothing wrong with lions. Oh, defending your choice. There's something wrong with you, Saber, but there's nothing wrong with lions. Plenty of people like lions, even good people, not like you, right?
だからすまなかったって。お詫びにいいとこに連れてくから、それで機嫌を直してくれ。
This is wholesome. They're both fucked up, but they're enjoying each other's company, so this is a nice time. I'm telling you I'm sorry. I'll take you somewhere good as an apology, so don't get mad. Now he's afraid that she's genuinely getting mad because he thinks that he's very get-madable at, so he's like, no, I have to backpedal. I laughed at her, and now I have to make it up to her with some major way. Even though she's, she's more than fine with you just, explaining the truth, but... I go into the store while trying to hold my laughter. Lions are like big fluffy cats after all. Yes, big fluffy cats with big fluffy teeth. It'll be a shame where something bad happens and ruins this wholesome couple. Shut up! Nothing bad's gonna happen, at least for the rest of the date. They better not interrupt this date. I like this date. Be mad if they interrupt the date. If they want to, fuck things up later on, sure, but at least let them have this one date to its conclusion. I mean, I'm sure things will get fucked later on, and that sounds interesting, and I'm gonna look forward to that. But for this one date, I just want them to have the whole date. I go into the store while trying to hold my laughter. It looks like the stuffed animals are that way. So, wait, what do you mean the stuffed animals are that way? Did I misread? Looks like the stuffed animals are that way. That way? So, it's taken about an hour to go around the store. Illy just wakes up and comes screaming toward them. How dare you go on a date without me? Ah! I looked at Saber staring at stuffed animals and felt really nervous with all the girls there. Anyway, it was the most tiring hour so far. Oh, that sounds so cute. That sounds so cute. The worst part is we've only looked through half the store. Oh fuck, another half of the store to go. Took us this long to look at just half of it because Saber was frequently paralyzed by, what, cute-looking lions and panthers. Saber kept staring down stuffed animals. I mean, your plan is working pretty much. She's enjoying herself a lot. I think the ultimate conclusion is wanting her to enjoy herself so much that she wants to keep enjoying herself and doesn't want to erase herself from existence. Something like that. Because here's the thing, she can want to enjoy herself and still potentially enjoy herself after going back in time, potentially. Depends on how the semantics work. Maybe she can't, so she has to not go back in time and delay that. That might be better. Looks like Saber is interested in the other half too, so I'll have to accompany her.
Shiro, どうしたのです？ため息をついて。
Shiro, why are you sighing? Did I do something wrong?
疲れてしまったとか。
Did I fuck up the date? Are you tired from walking?
ああ、ちょっと疲れた。こんな程度で値を上げるほどやわじゃないんだけどな。
Yeah, I'm a bit tired.
特別だ。
I'm usually not so weak.
慣れないことはするもんじゃないのか。
I do have Wolverine powers after all. Speaking of which, how do you feel about Wolverines? Wolverines are a type of cat-dog thing, right? Hold on. This place is special. I guess I shouldn't be doing things I'm not accustomed to. No, you should, because what you're accustomed to sucks. But in this case, I guess it's because he's not used to being around so many girls when he doesn't save them at all. You can only be around girls when they're making him sandwiches, or he's making them sandwiches, or he's saving them from disasters. Otherwise, there's too many girls. Cooties. Ooh, girls don't deserve to be in my presence. I don't deserve to be near girls unless I'm using my miserable life saving them somehow. Anyways, Wolverine family. No, not Marvel. Okay. Mustelids. What? Gulo Gulo, also called glutton, carcajou, or skunk bear. Member of the weasel family. Fucking, their technical terms, mustelids. Weasel family. They're weasels. Okay. Are cats weasels? Wait. Cat family. Felidae. Ooh, fun. Dog family. Canidae. Okay. Monkey family. Wait, I think this is going to be the same family of humans, right? Same family? Monkey family. No, monkey, technical term. What is the monkey family name? Isn't it the same family of humans? I believe it's the same family. Species. Family name. Name. Primates? That one's not scientific enough. Scientific name, thank you. There we go. Cercopithecidae. What the heck? That is the most complicated one. Cercopithecidae? Cercopithecidae. Okay. And then, wait, human scientific name. Homo sapiens. I knew that. I mean, I say I knew that, I actually forgot, but now seeing it again, I remembered. Fish, scientific name. I'm on a roll here. Chondrichthyes. 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 Chondata. Oh gosh, what else? What else can I look up? Weasel family animals. What else is there? What do they share with... What does Wolverine share? Probably weasels. Who is in the weasel family? Let's see here. Martens and Wolverines. Martens is a gorilla vanaivas, just the same subspecies as a Wolverine. A Marten. The genus which this subfamily Gullini family they have bushy tails and large paws with partially retractile claws. That's very Wolverine. Okay, and then there's also ferret badgers, grissons, African, other Eurasian badgers, honey badgers, weasels, American badgers. That's a lot of badgers. Anyways, my mental training didn't prepare me for judgy girls. Oh, yeah. And that was a big sigh. I don't mind being looked at by other people walking with Saber, but a girls-only place like this is really uncomfortable because I know I'm not worthy of girls. And I haven't saved any girls yet, which is actually untrue. But he thinks he hasn't. I haven't saved any girls yet, so, like, I'm not worthy of their presence until I save them. And once I am worthy, I can die. What? Boredom sometimes tires one's body.
そういうセイバーは大丈夫か？こういう店初めてだろ？
How about you?
疲れたんなら言ってくれ。
This must be your first time in a place like this. Tell me if you're tired.
確かに私も落ち着きませんが、シロの方が居心地が悪そうです。ここだけではなく、先ほどの店もその前の店でもそうでした。
I certainly do not feel calm, but you look more uncomfortable. Not just here, but you seemed that way in the previous store and the store before that. Of course. He thinks she's not having fun. She thinks he's not having fun. It's like, why aren't you having fun, Shiro? He's not having fun because he thinks you're not having fun and he wants you to have fun, so he's not having fun. You are having fun, but he's too fucking dense to realize that. Maybe it's good that he think he hasn't saved anyone yet, because this is somewhat holding him back from just going full suicidal. Hey! Yeah, and until then, all the suicidal tendencies he does have are stopped by his Wolverine-ness.
まさかとは思うのですが、シロは自分で行きたくない場所を選んでいるのではないですか?
I do not want to think this, but are you choosing places you do not wish to go? I wouldn't want you lowering yourself for my sake. No, I have to lower myself for your sake. Dash. For me, her words are enough to cast away my worries.
そうだな。正直に言えば、あえて苦手なところを選んでるけど。
Yeah, to be honest, I'm choosing places I don't like that I think you'll like.
やはりどうかしています、シロ。慣れないと分かっていて、なぜこのような場所ばかり選ぶのです。
As I
それ
thought.
ではあなたは
Because that's what you would do if you were in his position. Why do you continue to choose places you are unfamiliar with? You will... I'm doing it for you.
いや、だって女の子にはこういう場所のが似合うだろう。
Well, because these kind of places are suitable for girls. I think he is making it easier, definitely, for Saber to realize that, you know, I mean, he already made it easier when it's like, I want to date you, but, it's just, I think he's definitely making it easier, you know, to show that he definitely has attraction for her. She might be dense enough to think that it's not real, but he's making it harder for her to think that, at least. Or she might think, oh, he's doing this because he doesn't like my wish, and he thinks that I shouldn't do that, but I think I should do that, and that's why he's doing this. He doesn't like me. He's just doing it because he's trying to find some way to distract me from doing that because he doesn't want me to do that. So that might be where her mentality goes, not he likes me.
遊びに行こうって連れ出したのは俺なんだから。今日はセイバーの日なわけだし。
I'm the one that started this whole thing, and today's your day as well. Dash, dash. Well, it seems like she hasn't had time to comprehend the idea that maybe he's just doing it for a cynical motivation. Oh, that's so wholesome.
それに、そう居心地悪くないぞ。セイバーがいるから大丈夫。隣にこれだけ美人がいるんだから、妬まれることはあれ、場違いだって思われることもないし。
It's not that uncomfortable either, and that's probably exactly how she feels too. It's fine since you're with me. I have such a cute girl with me, so people might get jealous, but I'll never be out of place. And he said it out loud. That probably is going to ease her worries a lot. Now she just has to say that to ease, you know, so they can be reciprocal in what makes them happy.
何をバカな。武装していなくても私はサーバントです。いかに非戦闘時だからといって私を女性扱いする必要はありません。普段通りサーバントとして扱ってください。
And she's resigned herself to her wish to erase herself from history, so even if she starts liking the way Shiro treats him, and is like, I do like this, she has to tell herself, no, I don't. I've already committed to erasing myself. I'm not worthy of living this life. He has to stop trying to make me, you know, he has to stop trying to do good things for me. I don't deserve to want these things. Even if I do want them, I don't deserve to want them. Ridiculous. I'm a servant, even though I'm not armed. You do not need to treat me as a woman just because we're not fighting. Please treat me as a servant as usual. It's like she sort of grew to like him treating her as a woman, but he doesn't like it when, she doesn't like it when he takes it this far, because she's committed to erasing herself, and she's like, stop it, I don't deserve this. I'm a terrible person. So, that's where the mentality goes, I guess.
バカはそっちだ。普段通りも何も、セイバーは初めから女の子じゃないか。
You're the ridiculous
今日だ
one.
け気を使ってるわけじゃないし。
You're a girl to begin with.
今日の俺っていつもと違うか。
The sexist. It's not like I'm treating you differently today. Am I acting any differently? You asking her on a date is a little out of character, but now that I think I realize that you did it for her sake, and not in any way that you wanted her to like you, just that you wanted her to have fun, I think it does seem a little more in character from that point of view. Oh! In astonishment, Saber opens her mouth as if she just realized that. Yeah, he has always treated her like that.
いえ、同じです。
No, you're the same. You're the same person that I've fallen in love with. Haba, haba. Now's when you kiss. This is the part when you make out.
あなたはいつも通りのシロでした。
You're acting the same as always, Shiro. Ooh, I think she's fully in realization mode now. She's fully in realization mode. We don't want to maybe kiss in the girl store. We'll go to somewhere private. And then when we make out, you're supposed to not kiss on the first day. But this is a special occasion where she might have to erase herself from existence. And we really gotta convince her. So, like, fuck the conventions. You know, fuck the, oh, you gotta wait 2 to 3 dates to do the kiss. No, fucking kiss now.
だろ？だから 俺に気を使う必要なんてないぞ。
Yeah, so you don't need to worry about me.
ほら、それじゃ行こう。一番気に入ったものを買うんだから、あと半分も見ないとダメだろう。
So let's go. We're gonna buy the one you like the most, so we have to go look at the remaining half. Maybe now she's gonna flip her mentality and be like, wait, he's doing this all for me. He's done all this for me. I should start doing it for him. We should start going to stores he likes. You know, he's had his half. This is quite a subversion to a usual romance arc. Instead of appealing to another person that one is worthy to be in a relationship, they're madly in love with each other, but convincing themselves they're not worth it. And the arc is convincing the other person they're worth it. Yeah, it is definitely unusual. I like it for that. It's very sweet. Sometimes one person will think they're not worth it, and the other person has to convince them. I have seen that before a good amount, but both of them thinking they're not worth it is uncommon from my experience. If they both think they're not worth it, it usually doesn't happen. I take Saber's hand. It's really nice. I like it a lot. I like how this relationship has unfolded. Saber might not be my favorite girl, but I think I'm growing to like this ship quite a bit. And to think, when I started this, I thought, ooh, ghost, ooh, gross, she's like a ghost or whatever. You just don't smooch ghosts, that's weird. And I grew to be okay with it. And then finding out that she's still mentally the same girl it does make it feel more comfortable, but I'd already accepted that I liked it anyways. But it is funny that when I started this, I was sort of the mentality of, you know, this might be a visual novel with a lot of girl options, but Saber is a weird one because smooch ghost, are they going to go in that weird direction? That's just... But I couldn't help but have that thought process because I went into Fate Zero first. And so, like, she was in Fate Zero where Shiro was like a little bitty kid. And now it's, you know, 10 years later. And, you know, so I had that mentality of, oh, she's this 1,000-year-old person. That's squick. But, mentally, you know, her not being it makes it definitely less squick. I don't think it needed to be. I just gave into the idea that it was squick and that's okay. But, Saber silently follows me.
そうでした。初めからそうだったのに、今になって気がつくなんて。
That is right. It's been like this from the start, but I did not realize it until this moment. So what does it mean now that you've realized it? What are you going to do? What will this change? This could be a big moment. It could be a good moment, could be a bad moment. Depends on where her mind decides to go. Because she could decide, oh shit, he likes me this much. I don't want to hurt him. I have to, I don't know, completely distance myself from now on from him and not let, you know, him be affected by this. He's going to be, inevitably at this point. It's too far gone. But that might be where her mind goes, which would be bad. The good thing would be, yeah, backtracking is the worry. The good thing would be giving in, but I think giving in's a little easy. The realization likely will lead to at least a temporary backtrack, honestly. Just narratively, that would make the most sense. She could go into a mode of limbo, but the fact that they chose this moment to make her realize it means they're probably going to go somewhere from here. Probably she's going to backtrack. Then Shiro's going to get in danger later on. She's going to be like, no, fuck the backtracking. I love you, Shiro. I would assume, based on, you know, the narratives I'm used to, would probably be more or less what happens. Then again, this has been an unusual couple from the start, so they might subvert that idea. She murmurs to herself. The unusual day goes by quickly. Well, of course, when you're enjoying it, it goes by fast. Saber never laughed, nor could I laugh from my heart. I mean, you laughed a couple times. It's not like there was any memorable moments, nor was it so boring that I regret doing it. The memorable moment was the entire day. Greater than the sum of its parts, blah, blah, blah. I'm not a huge fan of that saying, to be honest. Just the whole is greater than the sum. I feel like that saying is a little overblown. But in this case, I think it works. The idea of doing a date with Saber was better than, you know, the sum of what all of the things we did with Saber you know, actually amounted to, that kind of thing. It's the fact that we did the date more than anything we did on it. To be frank, this was nothing. Saber might have been happier if we'd stayed at the mansion and trained together. Not true. Not true. I could tell. Maybe she wasn't happy at the end when she realized she had her realization, but until then, at least, she was definitely enjoying herself. Today wasn't bad. It wasn't fun or boring, but I can be proud of it in the end. After the battle is over and everything goes back to normal, for the saying 2 in unity is better than 1 in perfection. 2 in unity is better than 1 in perfection. I like that idea. I definitely like that idea. That's kind of like the opposite, though, of... Well, no. That's right. No, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts is the opposite. That's saying the 1 is better than the 2, but, yeah. After the battle is over and everything goes back to normal, it'd be too sad if all the time Saber and I had was spent fighting. Oh, no. Is that what you're doing? You said... Was this not trying to convince her? Was this more, I need to give Saber enough good days before she erases herself from existence, give her as much happy time? Have you committed yourself to just letting Saber do this? Oh, no! Or are you hoping that she will make herself a real girl, and that you want her to stay around you because you love her, and so you want to convince her to stay around you before the fight ends? Really, she would stay around anyways, but you didn't know that because of the self-hatred and all that. Even if it's something stupid, she has to spend some time not fighting, or there's no point in her being here. Well, I mean, her being here is to get the Grail, but I get what you're saying. So I can be proud of myself for now. The end is near. When everything comes to an end, and when there's no more need to fight... Yeah? What are you saying? What are you saying? You sound suicidal. If Saber will remember this moment, remember that this happened, that alone is enough for me to be proud of. Okay. Is this you admitting defeat? You're gonna do the date and that's it? You admit defeat? This sounds defeatist. Oh no. We go home on foot. Oh no, it sounds defeatist. Because Saber said,
帰りは歩いて行きましょう。
let us walk home. Yeah, because you get to spend more time together that way if you walk home instead of bus home. Also, you save more money. Just decided to go home by bus. What? Oh, yeah. Because you wanted to get it over with? You figure, well, no more need for her to spend any more time with my dumbass. The date's over. So, but of course, what she enjoys most is the time spent with you. But you think that she enjoys the things, not the you. Therefore, there's no reason to walk home. That would just be wasting time, because she doesn't like the you. But she does like the you, so... There's some wind now. The vivid setting sun is lighting the bright bridge red. Uh-huh. Oh? Saber notices something and stops. Is it the rope on the ground that no one ever fucking comments on? What is that? Is this a bad end? Because if Shiro admits defeat, he'll just go back to being a hero of justice? Oh no! She's watching a mountain of rubble. It's not that tall, even though it's a mountain of rubble. Well, she was sort of atop of a mountain of rubble of sorts. Just before she's about to die, / did die, / will die, / is dying. Steel frames and the likes are piled right up to the water's surface, and are slightly distorting the flow of the river. Okay. I don't know why, but it seems like a ship sank or something, and pieces of it float into a mountain. Is this a thing? Is this some small whatever, or is this a real thing? Steel frames and the like are piled right up the water's surface. A ship sank. Did a real ship sink? Is that going to be a thing in another pathway where there's like a ship? Or is this just meaningless? I mean, not meaningless, but you know. I heard the local residents have been demanding its removal for a long time since it damages the beautiful sight. Well, what if the mountain itself is a beautiful sight?
なんだよ、セイバー。あれが気になったのか?
What's wrong, Saber? Why did that catch your attention?
いえ、まだ残っていたのかと。あれの原因は私ですから。前回の戦いで水上戦を余儀なくされ、
No.
ここで宝具を使ってしまった。
I was noticing that it still remains because I was the cause of it. Oh! I used the noble phantasm here, having fought on water in the previous war. I don't remember that, but I'll take your word for it. Oh, you caused the mountain? You broke a ship in Fate Zero and caused the... I will take your word for it, even though I don't remember that. Noticing that it still remains because I was the cause of it. That's proof that you were here, proof that things you did matter. Oh, but it's something people don't like and want to get rid of. Oh no, that's a bad analogy. Oh no, you should be analogy good. You should be good thing that you do. Maybe the reason you're taking time to think about that now is because you're thinking about what it means for you to be here and, you know, how Shiro likes you. And that means you have more of a purpose than just getting the Grail. And now you're thinking of what your life has, how your life has affected the lives of others beyond just Shiro. And you're like, oh, that mountain, I did that too. You know, just thinking of the impacts and effects you've had.
被害は川を干上がらせただけでしたが、運悪く停泊していた船を巻き込んでしまったのです。
The only damage was that the river dried up, but I also destroyed the ship that was unfortunately anchored there. No human lives lost, though? Was the ship empty? Property damage still sucks, but you're just blaming yourself. Because that's all you want to do is think of all the bad things you've done. I'm sure if you thought about it, if you wanted to think about it, there are probably good things you've done.
はあ巻き込んだってまさかエクスカリバーにか
You mean Excalibur?
そうなのですが、幸い乗客はいませんでしたし、被害も大きくなかったんです。
Yes.
川だって今では元通りですし、そう怒らなくてもいいではありませんか。
But fortunately, nobody was on board and the damage was minimal. The river's back to normal, so you should not get so mad. Maybe I'm misinterpreting this, but this feels like her character. Her character is developing in a way of less self-hatred. Maybe I'm crazy, but the way she said that... Yes, you're right, I did do that, and it was a bad thing. But fortunately, nobody was on board, the damage was minimal. The river is back to normal, so you should not get so mad. Usually, I think you'd say something like, oh yeah, it was all my fault, I'm worth getting mad at. And now, what you're saying is, oh, you probably are getting mad at me, which makes sense, I'm very get madable at. But you're backpedaling a little bit from that and saying, no, you shouldn't get mad at me, though. Like, yeah, maybe I'm, you know, maybe people normally get mad at me, but, like, I have to try to like myself a little bit. And you have to not freaking be mad because something like that, like learning to like herself a little bit because she knows that he likes her, so maybe he should change a little bit for him? He changed her reaction when noticing Shiro's response. Yeah, there's also her thinking more of Shiro, there's that too. You mean Excalibur? I guess she could have been freaking out about the idea that, there's a couple things she could have been freaking out, yeah, but the wording, noticing Shiro's response, I don't know, nothing about Shiro's response seems that special to me, but maybe I'm not reading into it correctly. To me, I don't know, this feels a bit more like, it seems big, it seems like, you know, don't get mad. Usually, I think she'd be okay with people getting mad at her, so... just feels like some kind of step.
私だって反省しているのですから。
I regret it as well. Of course you regret it. It's normal to regret it. But, I would think you'd say something like, yes, and that's all my fault. And I regret it deeply. Of course you'd still regret it, but now you're saying, you should not get so mad. You know, you could say, well, you don't have to get so mad because there's minimal damage. But, you know, Shiro would normally be the one to point out there was minimal damage. It's not, you don't have to get that, you know, are hard on yourself. But, yes, it's minor. I know it's minor. But, like, freaking, you know, I look at the subtle details, which might mean nothing. If they're so subtle, I might just be seeing things. And it's just, you know, the reason it's so subtle is because it's not actually there. But it looks like, you know, a thing that could be leading to things. The timing is just interesting because this is just happening after. Anyways. I regret it as well. Ellipses. I should watch out. I have to take care only to use... Wait. What? This is Shiro saying this? I have to take care to only use Excalibur in an open place like this. What? Character development in the VN seems to be very subtle. Yeah, I've noticed that, which is why I think this might be something. Because, like, for example, the girls liking Shiro and then realizing they like Shiro, I kind of noticed the steps, which were subtle, but I noticed them. Okay, this is weird wording. I have to take care to only use Excalibur in open place like this. The sword that you tend to make is, Durandal, right? Her original sword. No, not Durandal, sorry. Caliburn. Excalibur is a separate sword. So, you don't make Excalibur. Saber uses it. It just seems weird for Shiro to be saying, I have to only use Excalibur here, when he doesn't think of Saber as a tool. That's something that someone thinks of Saber as a tool would say. Unless he's now starting to think of more of Saber as an extension of himself. Which I guess is a good thing, but it just seems... I mean, yeah, only use Excalibur in open place like this. That's not wrong. I just feel like it's weird wording. It might be a mistranslation, but... I think Shiro is thinking that he should only allow Saber to use her NP in an open place. I mean, that's true, but I feel like if that's what he was thinking, he would think that. He would say, I have to take care to only let Saber use her Noble Phantasm XXX. No, I have to take care only to use Excalibur XXX. It just seems odd that he would think that way, to me. Because that's sort of like thinking, well, Excalibur is mine, which makes Saber mine. Which, maybe that also has to do with how close he's getting to her, that he feels it's okay to act like the sword is one with him. Maybe now that he's made a sword and they used it together, he feels like he has partial ownership over her sword now. Which would just be very odd for Shiro. Maybe it's a subconscious thing. Oh boy, look at the time. I actually have to stop about now. Yeah, if I keep going, I'll get lost in the... So we basically finished the date. Date's not entirely over, but it's, you know, mostly finished. That was a good date. Learned a lot of new words. Much limbo. Nope, libido. Libido? Let's say libido. Maybe Shiro can just project Excalibur, and that piece is saying that. Yeah, possibly. If he can do Caliburn, maybe he can do Excalibur too. I don't think that's what he's saying. If he was, I think it would be more overt. Although maybe it will become more overt in the next line, and we're stopping here, so we won't know until next time on Wednesday. Save. So, yeah. This has been, I wanted to say Fire Emblem. Nope. This has been Fate's Day Night of the Blind Variety. We did a date. Dating is fun. It was a weird date, but it was a wholesome, fun, cute date. I like it. I ship the Shiro Saber ship. Which is something I've done in the past, you know. Like, Ilya is still probably my favorite girl. And, you know, I'd say there's other girls I like more than Saber, but I really like this ship. I like them together. So, yeah, I will see you guys next time where maybe bad things happen, or maybe not, because Saber hasn't had a realization, which might be good, but it might be bad. The romance is getting better now that we move past that. I can't let Saber fight Ree! Yeah, that was always going to be a silly roadblock. We got past that a long time ago, though. Anyways, so, for the YouTube audience, fuck off, it's over. I'm sorry, I love you, you're great. Come back for the next video. You know, probably once I get around to uploading this on YouTube in 10 years, the next video will probably be daily, I betcha. So probably tomorrow, I don't know. Whatever, future. Goodbye, stop recording.